Have you ever wondered how the world's two most populous nations, India and China, compare economically? Welcome to the tale of two economies, a story of economic giants, each with its unique strengths and challenges. India and China are not just home to over a third of humanity, they are also significant players on the global economic stage. For many decades, these two countries have been charting their own paths to economic prosperity. China, with its manufacturing prowess and state-led capitalism. India, with its vibrant democracy and an economy driven by services and information technology. Our purpose today is to delve into their economic anatomy, to compare and contrast their economic structures, their triumphs, their tribulations, and their influence on the world economy. We'll look at various sectors from manufacturing to technology and see how they stack up against each other. So, buckle up as we embark on this economic journey and compare these two titans of Asia. To begin, we need to understand the macroeconomic landscapes of both countries. India and China, two of the world's most populated nations, have contrasting economic profiles. Let's start with the gross domestic product, or GDP, a measure of economic activity within a country. China, the second largest economy globally, has a GDP that hit $15.42 trillion in 2023. India, on the other hand, stands as the world's sixth largest economy, with a GDP of $3.2 trillion in the same year. Now let's talk about economic growth rates. China has been experiencing slowing growth with a rate of 6.1% in 2023, down from 6.6% the previous year. India, conversely, has seen a steady climb, with the growth rate hitting 7.3% in 2023, up from 7% the year before. But what drives these vast economies? In China, the major contributors are manufacturing and exports, particularly electronics and machinery. However, it's worth noting that China's reliance on exports makes it vulnerable to global market fluctuations. India, on the other hand, has a more diverse economic structure. It's driven by sectors like services, which contribute over 60% to the GDP, and agriculture, which employs over half of India's workforce. Each economy has its strengths and weaknesses. China's strength lies in its massive production capabilities and a robust export market. However, its weakness is an over-reliance on exports, making it susceptible to global economic shifts. India, on the other hand, boasts a young and dynamic workforce, a growing middle class, and a burgeoning tech sector. But it grapples with challenges like infrastructure gaps, regulatory hurdles, and a still significant rural population reliant on agriculture. Now that we have a bird's-eye view of both economies, let's delve deeper into specific sectors. Manufacturing has been a key player in the economic narratives of both India and China. China's manufacturing sector, often dubbed the world's factory, has been a significant driver of its impressive economic growth. From toys and textiles to high-tech electronics and automobiles, China's manufacturing sector is diverse and vast. The scale of production is simply staggering, and it's not uncommon to find "Made in China" labels on products worldwide. This sector contributes a substantial chunk to China's GDP and provides employment to millions. On the other side of the Himalayas, India's manufacturing sector paints a different yet equally compelling picture. India's manufacturing industry is a vibrant mix of traditional sectors like textiles and handicrafts, alongside emerging areas such as pharmaceuticals, automobiles, and information technology hardware. The Make in India initiative, launched in 2014, aimed to transform India into a global manufacturing hub and has led to significant growth in the sector. Despite this, manufacturing still accounts for a lesser proportion of India's GDP compared to China, but it's a sector on the rise. The manufacturing sectors of both countries have their unique strengths and challenges. While China's manufacturing might is largely unrivaled, India's sector is showing promising growth. The types of goods produced, the size of the sector, and its contribution to the economy all play a crucial role in shaping the economic landscapes of these two Asian giants. Manufacturing is just one part of the economic puzzle. Let's move on to another critical sector: technology. Technology is the backbone of the 21st century economy, and both India and China have made significant strides in this area. In the heart of Asia, two economic titans are waging a silent war, a war of technological advancement. This isn't just about flashy gadgets and sleek interfaces, but about the profound ways in which technology intersects with and propels economic growth. In China, an explosion of innovative tech firms has led to unprecedented growth. Companies like Alibaba and Tencent are not just local champions, but global giants, their reach extending far beyond Chinese borders. They've played a key role in shaping the digital landscape, contributing heavily to China's GDP. Meanwhile, India's technology sector is also on an upward trajectory. It's home to a thriving ecosystem of startups, buoyed by a surge in internet and smartphone usage. Giants like Infosys and Wipro, along with a myriad of dynamic startups, are transforming the nation into a global IT hub. Moreover, both countries are making headway in emerging technologies. China is a world leader in areas such as artificial intelligence, while India is carving its niche in software development and IT services. Despite their unique paths, both nations are leveraging technology to fuel their economies and assert their place on the global stage. They're harnessing the power of innovation, not just to create wealth, but to improve lives, reinventing how we work, live, and connect. Technology has transformed these economies, but what about the people powering these sectors? Let's look at the human capital. Human capital is the engine that drives any economy. India and China, with their massive populations, have unique strengths and challenges. When it comes to the education sector, both nations have made significant strides. China's literacy rate is nearly perfect, at 96%, while India's is steadily catching up, currently sitting at around 74%. Both countries have a strong focus on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, or STEM education, producing a massive number of graduates each year. However, there are stark differences in the quality of education. Chinese students consistently outperform their Indian counterparts in international assessments, suggesting a higher quality of education. This factor could influence the country's economic futures, as a well-educated workforce is often linked to greater productivity and innovation. Shifting our focus to skills, China's workforce is largely skilled, thanks to the country's push for vocational education. India, on the other hand, is grappling with a skills gap. While it has a large pool of young workers, many lack the skills needed for modern jobs. However, the Indian government has launched several initiatives aimed at skill development, and the results are promising. Now, let's talk about labor force. China's labor force is aging, and the one-child policy has resulted in a shrinking pool of young workers. India, on the contrary, is set to become the world's youngest country by 2027, with an average age of 29. This demographic dividend could give India an edge in the coming years. The quality of human capital, then, is a mixed bag for both countries. While China leads in education and skills, India has the advantage of a young and growing workforce. The challenge for both will be to effectively harness this human capital for sustained economic growth. Indeed, human capital is a game changer. Now let's wrap things up. We've taken a whirlwind tour of the economies of India and China, exploring their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've discovered. In the grand tale of these two economies, we've seen that both India and China have made significant strides in their economic development. They've transformed from largely agrarian societies to become global leaders in various sectors. However, their paths to economic prosperity have been distinctly different. China's economy, for instance, has been largely driven by its manufacturing prowess. Its ability to mass-produce goods at competitive prices has made it the world's factory. On the other hand, India's economy has thrived on its services sector, particularly information technology and software services. In the realm of technology, China has made remarkable progress in sectors like e-commerce, AI, and telecommunications. India, too, has made significant strides, particularly in the software industry and digital services. However, China's technological advancements seem to have a broader base, while India's strength lies in its highly skilled IT workforce. As for human capital, India's demographic dividend, with its young and dynamic workforce, presents a great opportunity for economic growth. China, though dealing with an aging population, has a highly educated workforce and has invested heavily in human capital development. Both economies have their unique set of challenges. China grapples with issues like an aging population and environmental degradation. India, on the other hand, faces challenges in infrastructure development and skill training for its vast population. Despite these challenges, both countries have shown incredible resilience and adaptability. They've charted their unique paths, leveraging their strengths and addressing their weaknesses. As we can see, the economies of India and China are as diverse as they are dynamic. Both have their unique paths to development, and the world watches eagerly as these two giants continue to grow.